Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Ruhle. The list of contenders in the Democratic primary just keeps growing. Two-term Washington Governor Jay Inslee has become officially the 11th candidate, announcing his candidacy for president early this morning. And his entire campaign will be focused on one issue.
We're the first generation to feel the sting of climate change, and we're the last that can do something about it. We went to the moon and created technologies that have changed the world. Our country's next mission must be to rise up to the most urgent challenge of our time, defeating climate change. I'm Jay Inslee, and I'm running for president because I'm the only candidate who will make defeating climate change our nation's #1 priority. We can do this. Join our movement. This is our moment.
So who is Jay Inslee? The 68-year-old governor of Washington spent 2 decades in Congress before being elected to lead the state in 2013. He has been a vocal opponent of President Trump, including suing the president after Trump tried to ban immigration from several Muslim-majority countries. I want to bring my panel back in. Rick, Jason, to you first. Inslee, he is nowhere near as well-known as the other people on the list. Is his #1 job or hurdle to just get some name recognition?
Yeah, he's got to tell people who he is first, and then they have to find out if that's something that's exciting for them, and then he has to see if he can actually compete in these debates. I don't even think it's an issue of money for him. He was former head of the Democratic Governors Association. I think he can go out and get money, and I think a lot of the sort of political elites know who he is because he was out stumping and campaigning for other people, but he has to get his name out there. And my concern, I think he has a fantastic progressive resume. If you're a liberal, you got to like the kind of stuff that he's done with health care and criminal justice and raising the minimum wage, but you got to be concerned that if his whole issue is climate change, that's not moving the needle. That's not making people excited.
To that point, can you make progress when you're just a one-issue candidate? And while many, many people think it's a massively important issue, there's a whole heck of a lot of people who don't think it even exists, right? If you wanted to choose the economy, everybody could say, yes, we want a stronger economy. Climate change, we have a president who's a borderline denier.
So if you look at climate change, right, so it's a big gamble for him, right? He wants to single identify with one issue, and is that enough to electrify the Democratic base so he can get the nomination? That's one thing. But then he's got to win a general election. I think Democrats are more concerned about beating Donald Trump than they are on any specific issue. And the thing is with the climate change is that you can go out and say, do we have an obligation to protect God's green earth? That will get a 98% across the board. But then you get down to how you're going to do it. And he tried a climate tax in Washington. He didn't succeed in that. He had a green initiative for energy. He was successful in that. He did some green transportation. He was successful in that. But the question is, again, is many people love the environment, of course, but does it make their decision when they go into the voting booth? And historically, it's been single digits.
Apparently he's actually been in conversations with Al Gore, I guess, who's the last person who really ran on this sort of thing. They've sort of been advising each other.
Into climate change.
Yeah, I think they kind of are in agreement. The South Park told me that. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't think any single issue candidate. I don't care if you're running, if you're Steve Forbes running on the flat tax. I don't care if you're running about pro-life and abortion. I don't think a single issue as the way to bring yourself out there is the best way to go. And had he started, and it's just a couple of words, had he started with the greatest danger to our economy is climate change. The greatest danger to our health is climate change. I think that would have been a brilliant way to start.
Then people have to be convinced of it, because he describes it as a Manhattan Project, which is a huge single focus, right? And if people believe that climate change was all the things that he says it was, then yes, he could be successful as a single issue. My question is, do they believe that? And then the other issue on my side, so just give you a sense, we compost, we recycle, I drive a plug-in hybrid. I'm very interested in the...
Look at you,
yeah, I'm very interested.
Hey.
But when they talk about carbon tax, and which Australia just repealed, they couldn't get it done in Washington. Then there's a lot of issues where people say, we really want to tax the economy for what people believe is an unproven theory.
Rick Tyler's wearing a hemp suit today as well. He's voted himself. Today's March 1st. You know what that means? Where's Beto? I was at his event with Oprah Winfrey. He said he would make his decision on whether to run by the end of the month. Last I checked, it is neither a leap year February's over.
Yeah, we've moved from Black History Month to Women's History Month, and he still hasn't said anything.
Correct.
Having told this black woman he was going to make a decision. Look, my concern is that the longer that you wait, you start losing out in the good consultants, right? Because at this point, a lot of the best campaign managers out there...
People would get on the Beto bus.
They might, but this sort of apprehension makes people concerned because they're like, look, dude, this was your one promise that you're going to give us an answer by now. The other thing is this, he can't run an unenthusiastic campaign. Like, he's got to come out there, and he might even have to explain why he didn't make the decision by the end of the month of February. I think that Beto has probably, out of all the candidates, he has the greatest chance of both winning a nomination and actually beating the president. I think he is the only person who I can look at right now, and I'm fairly confident he can do both. But if he can't even make a strong decision, he's got no chance.
Well, Mike Bloomberg has gone out and hired the biggest, best all-star team, a massive tech effort, and he's got a whole lot of dough. He could just take that effort and pass it to Beto.
Beto can wait. I think he can wait because he's got name ID. People know who he is. He's a proven fundraiser. He can electrify and excite debate. Maybe he's just waiting for it to shake out. So we'll see. But I have to say this. If you're invited to an event with Oprah Winfrey and you don't announce for president,
I was in the audience and I was ready to announce.
That's crazy.
Yes, it's crazy. Trust me, I was ready to announce that day. Well, we'll see, Beto. It is March 1st. Maybe you made the decision yesterday and you're waiting for it to go from in your head to tell the rest of us, we're ready. Anytime you want to let us know, we're here. All right, coming up, the House has passed